Hello and welcome to episode 11 of the Who's Friend Jimmy podcast. This is my 5 minute challenge, my 5 minute speaking challenge, where I have challenged myself to do every day to speak into a camera, record myself, just to improve my overall comfortability in front of a camera, my speaking. I've already noticed that when I've started conversating with someone, I'm starting to get better at explaining things just because I've talked about it for 5 minutes, and I've actually gone and listened back to it as well. So I've already kind of nailed the idea down, because I've had to explain it already, and I've just realized I'm talking a lot more. I've also noticed same with ChatGPT, so like voice, the through the phone app you can conversate with the AI and ask it questions and stuff, and you have to articulate yourself pretty well because you're asking these kind of detailed questions. So I definitely noticed some improvements by just having to talk a lot more. Today I was thinking about talking about the idea is that the only way to change your habits is by using your imagination, and more specifically by using your imagination to change the image you have of yourself. So this idea comes from a few different places. There's like the manifestation guys like Think and Grow Rich and Joe Dispenza and Neville Goddard. I really like those guys. I love the philosophy. I have a little bit of hope in it. Don't know if it's real or not, but I do like the way it kind of ties into reality at the same time. It's not just woo-woo stuff. This is take 3. I don't know. I just keep kind of talking myself into a hole and not being able to get out of it. So hopefully this one goes well. But one of the main places this idea comes from is a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. And cybernetics itself is a very interesting topic, but I gravitated towards this book just because it sounded cool and it sounded fancy, and like I love reading, just like gaining knowledge in a interesting place, maybe finding these cool books that can level me up above people, so I can get rich and whatever and be cool. And just kidding. I just really like reading strange books. So, but the concept behind psycho-cybernetics is very interesting. It is a plastic surgeon who realized through his practice of changing people's appearances that by doing so, he would notice a change in their personality. And this triggered him to write this book and kind of explore the philosophies and stuff behind appearances and images and imagination. But what he really noticed was that it only happened some of the time. So he noticed that he would change someone's appearance. Maybe someone had a grotesque like scar in their face, and he would fix the scar on their face, and they would previously like close down, become this person who didn't like going outside and hid away and was shy and whatever. And then after changing their appearance, would completely change their personality and become outgoing. They always talk about becomes a salesman and starts selling loads and all that kind of shit, but that's just the like selling the book and probably a course or whatever. But he also noticed that sometimes it wouldn't happen, and then he would notice that sometimes you could do it without actually making any changes. And he developed this philosophy that it really comes down to the person's belief in their appearance. So almost like the image they have of themselves would dictate how they perceive the world. And kind of the way it ties into habits is if you have the image of yourself that you are a lazy person or a person addicted to this, or someone who can't control that, and then that image kind of takes over your unconscious, and when you're living during the day, that will override your conscious mind and control your actions. So if you ever think, how is it even possible that you have these bad habits, that you can do something that goes against your will to do, it's because the image you have of yourself is stronger than the desire you have not to do that thing. So it's a very interesting topic, and I really like, and it really ties into the manifesting, because it's manifesting itself is picturing the you that has the desired outcomes. But the way to do it is to imagine yourself in that future, but the actions you're taking and the habits that you have in that moment that get you the things that you desire. One of the things that Joe Dispenza says that is very interesting, that kind of definitely sums it down, is that how much of the thoughts you had today were the same as the thoughts you had yesterday. And if the thoughts you had, which is, he says, is like 90%. And if you think about it, if you have the same thoughts kind of go before action. So you think to do something, then you do it. And if you think the same thing over and over again, then your actions are going to be the same. So in order for you to change your habits, you need to change your thoughts. And in order to do that, you have to change the image you have of yourself. And kind of, maybe let's talk about actionable ways to do it. So how to change the image of yourself is a very interesting practice that I've kind of been going into, and kind of, because you hear about manifestation or whatever, and you just go and you go, oh, I want Lamborghinis, a new image, and you imagine all these good things that you want. But if it was that easy, then everyone would do it. And it's starting to seem like it's a very subtle art. And so what it is it's pretty much meditating, but visualization. It's like a meditative visualization. But I say meditation because I'm starting to realize that it has to be something that you're doing in the present moment. If you are not in the present moment and you're just picturing this future, then you are coming from a point where it's in the future. It's away, and because it's in the future, you are feeling that lack of having it and of not having it. And because you don't have it, the principle of abundance and it just doesn't work properly. So I definitely want to get more into manifestation and that kind of stuff, but it is a strange topic to talk about. So